Boa tarde, pessoal, tudo bem? Sejam bem-vindos a mais um webinar aqui da Prophix, né? Nesse webinar hoje a gente vai falar sobre o Prophix One, vamos falar sobre as funcionalidades, sobre a ferramenta FP&A Plus, a gente vai dar uma palhinha para vocês aí da ferramenta, negócios, né? Então nós estamos ali com o Roberto Dariva, que é o nosso Managing Director LATAM, o Aubrey, o Parker, que veio direto lá do Canadá para falar com a gente um pouco sobre o Prophix One. E eu queria aproveitar agora, chamar o Roberto Dariva, nosso Managing Director LATAM Prophix, para ele se apresentar, para ele apresentar os nossos convidados especiais e tocar essa conversa aí com eles, tá bom? Roberto.
Legal, obrigado, Leandro. Obrigado a todos aqui que estão conosco, participando desse webinar. Hoje a gente vai fazer um webinar bem prático aqui, mostrando como que o Prophix One pode ajudar no planejamento financeiro das empresas e acompanhar isso ao longo do ano. Então, hoje aqui comigo tem o Aubrey e o Parker. Já vou passar para que eles possam se apresentar. São especialistas da nossa matriz lá do Canadá. E espero que todos aproveitem. Quem tiver dúvidas, por favor, pode colocar no chat, que a gente, ao final, nós vamos coletar essas perguntas e vamos mandar para eles. Antes da gente começar, a gente estava até brincando um pouco, que o Aubrey falou que já fez umas 1.300 apresentações, mas hoje ele está nervoso porque é a primeira apresentação com slides em português que ele vai fazer, então nada pode ser tão simples. A gente criou uma complexidade aqui para eles fazerem. Então, vou passar, a tradução aí vai ser por legendas automática, então vocês vão poder acompanhar. Quem não fala inglês fluente vai ter as legendas em português que podem ajudar.
We have local implementation expertise that allows us to work with each of you, no matter where you are, and provide a local experience to working with Prophix, which is very important to us and very great in terms of how we can deliver software to meet your personal local needs. And so this is a little bit just to give you a sense of the broad scale of customers that we have, where we're located, and also the partners that we work with, because we do have a large network of global implementation partners that we work with that allows us to build Prophix along with you all. So that's a little bit about Prophix. And now what I'm going to talk about is when I do a lot of talking with finance leaders and CFOs across the world, in North America, in Europe, in Australia, and hopefully now more in Brazil and LATAM. And what we hear from them a lot is that the world has changed. And ever since ChatGPT came out, right after COVID, the finance world has been just changed in ways that a lot of finance leaders are starting to really experience as being different. And they're under more pressure than ever before to deliver more, deliver it faster, and deliver it without increasing the size of their teams. And the results of this are astounding. Some of the stats that you see on the slide there just talk to how much finance leaders are under pressure around their budget outlooks, how much time that they spend on manual work related to data collection, aggregation, and manipulation, instead of delivering forward-looking insights to their businesses to drive action, and also how much they are getting pressured to use and implement AI practically, even though that for the past number of years, AI has not seen to be something that has delivered a strong ROI. But that doesn't change the reality that a lot of finance teams are facing around these big issues. And when you look at the cost of all of this, it's real. And the cost of how things are today in a lot of finance organizations has big impacts to their business. If your close is late, then your forward-looking planning and forecasting and scenario modeling is being done late. It's being done on data that's not correct and not closed out. It might be coming from different systems. And at the same time, the amount of manual work that a lot of finance teams are having to do to make use of their data is making the people in their organizations tired, frustrated, overwhelmed, and causing them to just burn out. All the while, the challenges around trusting the data that you collect across your different systems, if that's a ERP or a HR system or a sales system, and bringing them all together to do something strategic with and actionable with that moves the business forward, it's really hard to trust that foundation of data if it's not clean in one place, connected, and recent. All the while of this happening, more CFOs and finance leaders that we speak with have the expectation that they need to scale AI on top of this. And so collectively, this is the backdrop that is requiring a lot of finance leaders to think about solutions like Prophix and figuring out a new way to work in this environment to help solve for some of these major challenges that are impacting the way that they can help their business thrive in this new world of uncertainty. And so one thing that we typically see whenever we do presentations like this is that any finance team that is thinking about a solution like Prophix or anything that deals with financial planning, close, consolidation, no matter what you choose, no matter what you go with, you will always be thinking about this in terms of how powerful what you're planning to buy and use is, and how fast and easy it is to get going. Doesn't matter if you're looking at Prophix, at something else, like using Excel. This is the trade-off that every finance organization is taking. And so on the lower end of that spectrum, you have finance teams saying, I want to use Excel, I want to use AI, it allows me to go fast, it's super flexible, it's cheaper potentially to implement. But the reality is that you're causing a trade-off between speed and flexibility and the scale issues of having lots of data that your spreadsheet is trying to manage, having no governance or control over who sees what and the amount of versions that you have around and the formulas that go into creating Excel. And at the same time, you have to check and check again and check again anything that AI creates because it gives you a different answer to anything that you ask it. And so a lot of people are thinking about using Excel to solve for a lot of these challenges that finance people are facing. And they're realizing that it might not be good for what they need to do. On the other end of the spectrum, a number of companies are thinking about very big, very powerful, large enterprise planning, consolidation, and close solutions that are really powerful. They can handle a lot of data. They have all the enterprise access controls and capabilities that you would need, but they are very expensive and they take a long time to implement. So you are never really done when you want to get on board with one of these large enterprise solutions because you're always building to what's next and you're always spending a lot of time and money doing it. In the middle between the enterprise solutions and the Excel is using your ERP or using an individual solution for FP&A or financial consolidation, whether it's a web-based solution or one that is delivered through Excel. And each of those have trade-offs as well. Ultimately, they are good for small use cases. They are good for wanting to stay in Excel. They are good for specific things around implementation speed and potentially cost, but you're typically making a big trade-off between how much data and complexity those solutions can handle, and also how fast you can get going with them. And that's where Prophix comes in. Prophix, we are the leading solution for organizations that want to bring their data together from a financial planning and close and consolidation perspective, bring it into a single place, put it on a single foundation of governed data, and add significant power and scalability so that you can handle the enterprise level type of use cases and complexity at a cost and an implementation speed that is perfect for smaller organizations. At the same time, we also bring in a powerful AI engine underneath our platform that allows you to take the data coming in from multiple systems, adds financial intelligence on top of it through our agents, and you can access it in a number of different ways just by asking a question and getting an answer. And whether that be for your reporting, your scenario planning, your close, all of that comes together inside of Prophix. And we don't have the same issue with asking a different question and getting a different answer every time for your numbers, because every number is validated, it's explainable, it's audit ready, and it's calculated by Prophix, never by an AI tool. And so that's where we sit. We are at the intersection of scalability that helps you grow and time to value, speed that is perfect for the mid-market. And the best part about it is you don't have to rely on an IT team to keep this updated and recent. Finance teams can own this themselves, and they don't have to be waiting for an IT team. And so let me introduce you to Prophix. So here's Prophix, and we are a financial planning and close platform, and we are the only autonomous finance platform in the market that brings autonomous agents, governed data, and all of the workflows that exist from plan to close together in one place to deliver you the clarity, the capacity, and the confidence for you to run your business more effectively, deliver better outcomes and advice to decision makers, and close your books with less headache and faster. And so this is the Prophix platform. We have a number of different modules that exist on our platform for different finance use cases. The one that has been made us famous for what we do is financial planning and analysis, or FP&A Plus, which is really our flagship planning, budgeting, reporting, forecasting, scenario planning solution that not only allows you to do all of this at the GL level, but also allows you to start bringing together the full operational picture of your business and allows you to connect finance and operations in one place. Then we also have a number of other solutions that deal with different parts of the Office of Finance. So we also allow our customers to do direct cash flow visibility and forecasting and planning through our cash management solution, which is really about understanding the day-to-day transaction level information that is impacting their cash flow, where their cash flow is projected to go in the future, and what happens to their cash flow if they change assumptions about when they get paid or when they pay money out. That's the one side of our platform: financial planning and analysis and cash management. The other side of our platform is really about accounting, consolidation, and close. And so when we talk about this side of our platform, it's really about everything that comes before your planning and analysis, right? So everything on financial consolidation, if you have multiple entities that you need to consolidate the financials for, we have something that allows you to do that and make it really simple and easy. If you do anything around lease accounting, if you're a business that has multiple leases that you need to do accounting treatment for, we have a solution for that. We also have a solution that deals with intercompany management and disclosure management. And we are the only platform that brings all of these capabilities together in a single place and allows you to put AI at the heart of it. And that's a little bit about Prophix in terms of, who we are, what makes us special, all of the solutions that we have. And at the end of the day, it's really just about delivering you as finance leaders the clarity to really understand what's going on in your financials, why is it happening, what do you do about it, the capacity to automate a lot of the painful and manual data collection, manipulation, aggregation, modeling sort of work that maybe you would rather not be doing, and the confidence to know that all of your data is on a single layer of the truth. It's all in one place. And when you use AI, it's giving you an output that you can understand, that you can explain to others, and you can trust the output. And that's really what makes Prophix special. And we're one of the only market participants that can do this. And it's very, very exciting. We can connect to all sorts of ERP systems and source systems so that everything is very easy from what I just said. Now, I talked a bit about AI, and I'm sure everyone is very well aware of all the things that are happening on AI and our perspective on AI, because we get asked about this a lot. Every time that I talk to a CFO or a head of FP&A, I actually just spoke to one yesterday in the US, and they were asking about AI. And our perspective on AI is that AI is incredibly powerful. It will only keep getting more powerful, but everyone is at a different place in their journey in how they are comfortable with AI, how they want to use AI, what they know about AI. And so we want to, as Prophix, take you on a journey on how you're using AI. And it doesn't matter where you are today. We as Prophix will help you, again, build that foundational data layer that gets all of your data on a governed foundation. Once you're on that place, then you can start using AI to ask questions about your data, get outputs, go back and forth on specific things that you want to know. And once you're comfortable with that, then you can start doing things like automating tasks. And so whether that's creating budgets or creating reports or creating visuals, that's when we can start automating even more of the type of work that allows you to go move on to do something else. And the last part is about automating processes. And we talk to a lot of finance leaders, and no one is at stage 4 yet, or stage 3, which is totally okay. But we will help you get there. And Prophix believes, and we believe, that AI is a journey, and we will help you get there no matter where you are, no matter how you work. And we can do this through a number of different ways, which is very, very exciting. So why choose Prophix? If you are thinking about Prophix or wanting to learn more about us, there's really 4 things that companies look to us for. Number 1, like I said, we are a single platform that goes from planning to close in one place. We are the only platform that does this in the way that I've described. The second one is that we provide the future forward capabilities that as your business grows and as your business changes, Prophix keeps up and allows you to do more. And no matter how fast you're growing, Prophix can give you the support that you need to not grow out of Prophix in a couple of years. And so this is really great because a lot of finance teams don't like to replace software when their business changes. And with Prophix, you don't have to, because we grow with you. The third is how we work with AI, like I said. So every aspect of the AI that we use is explainable. You know how it's thinking, you know what it's doing. And the fourth is that we are ERP agnostic. So we can connect to over 400 different systems through our integrations, so that no matter what you use, you can bring that data into Prophix. And those are the 4 reasons why leading finance teams all over the world choose Prophix. And what gets me very excited about Prophix, even though I've been doing this for a long time at different companies. So now what I'm going to do is pass it off to Parker, who is going to talk a bit about our flagship product, financial planning and analysis, or FP&A Plus, as we call it. And what is really great about FP&A Plus is a couple things. Number one, it's really this highly flexible tool that you can really do anything that you can dream of on planning, budgeting, reporting, forecasting, scenario modeling, but not only at a GL level, you can get into the operational level with Prophix, which is really exciting, and it will work like a charm and will work very, very smoothly. The other things that it can do is it has significantly more powerful dashboarding capabilities than maybe you would have experienced if you're on other products, as well as it does a number of things on management of currencies, which is very different than something you might have experienced previously. And also, it does have some powerful financial consolidation capabilities as well. So, Parker, I will pass it on to you, my friend. And thank you very much. Again, really appreciate you having us here. And I will pass it off to you, Parker.
Awesome. Thank you, Aubrey. I'm going to go ahead and take over the screen share here for everyone. Now, where I want to start out is Prophix One Home. So these are some of the modules that Aubrey was just describing in his presentation. You can see we have access to financial planning and analysis, intercompany management, financial consolidations. So as you start to use Prophix One, you can start to unlock all of these different modules. And maybe you start out with just financial planning analysis, but eventually if you want to add on, let's say, account reconciliation and cash management, those things integrate seamlessly with the processes that you've already set up through the Prophix One platform. So I'm going to go ahead and launch FP&A Plus for us. And really what this is going to encapsulate is all of your planning, all of your budgeting, your forecasting, built for how finance teams actually work. I could probably describe it even more simply than that, right? It's how you guys decide where the money goes next and how it knows whether that decision that you've made is working. All of you on this call already do some version of this. Some of you already have Prophix Financial Planning and Analysis, which is a fantastic tool. This is the next step up to leverage AI and cloud native technology. Or some of you may be using Excel spreadsheets or some other platform. This tool is really going to speed up your processes, keep everything more connected between not just FP&A Plus, but also the other Prophix platforms, and help you build something that you can trust instead of a spreadsheet fire drill 3 times a year, which I know lots of companies face. Where I really want to highlight where this can really help the pain that companies face is with this scenario. Budgeting may happen for you once a year. It may happen in spreadsheets. It may happen department by department. And by month 3, the budget is already incorrect because the business has moved, but the spreadsheets have not. Now, consolidating a dozen department submissions means a dozen different formats, formulas that may break, the moment someone inserts a row or someone changes a template. This means that your analysts are going to have to play detective instead of focusing on doing the data analysis. And then your CFO asks, what happens to the margin if X costs go up by this amount? The honest answer is that in most companies, they'll say, give me a week to figure this out. The lag there is the actual cost, not the spreadsheet itself. It's those 3 days between the real question and the real answer. So now that we've opened up FP&A Plus, I want to show you how we can close that gap. I want to start with the model and then talk about what you're seeing on screen here with the dashboards. So how these models actually get built is really in a lot of tools. When you hear building a model, that means an IT project. In Prophix, that is not the case. This is, again, purpose-built for finance to be able to build this and manage it themselves. So your model in Prophix will mirror how your business is actually structured, including your entities, your departments, and the drivers that move your numbers. And increasingly, AI can actually stand up a first draft of your model so you can get straight to executing and editing rather than focusing on the design of your models. Now, once you've built out a model in Prophix, this is how it shows up on screen. So these dashboards are live, not static. These can be built once and then shared across the entire business with each person viewing what matters most to them. So, the finance team may open up to see their finance dashboard. This will contain relevant KPIs and graphs that matter most to them. Whereas maybe a manufacturing team will want to open up their dashboards and see only these relevant KPIs and graphs. The CFO may want to see, the consolidated picture. Nobody's taking any screenshots and pasting it into a slide. These dashboards can be your single source of truth. And as the data actually updates, these will all update seamlessly and automatically. Now, navigating the tool is very straightforward. You can access the different modules in Prophix by clicking on the top left module menu. This will allow you to access the different areas of Prophix, like where you design these beautiful dashboards, where you start to build out your charts and your templates. But from an end user perspective, we wanted to make it as simple as possible for users to open up Prophix and access the reports that mean the most to them. What this could look like is accessing a revenue scenario analysis, where you can instantly open this up straight from your dashboard and start to make real inputs that change real scenarios in your business. So you can say, what happens if there's a 10% increase to direct labor? Updating that value and refreshing will show you the cascading changes being made to that scenario version. So when your CFO asks, what happens if direct labor goes up by 10%, you can give them an answer instantaneously because you have these processes built out in Prophix. Launching off further from the dashboard, you can also open up tasks to help you do more detailed level planning. For example, I'm opening up an OpEx reforecast template. Now, this is where we can really start to layer on some of the amazing AI tools that are available in Prophix, where we have 3 months of actual data, and we'd like to build out a forecast for the rest of the 9 months of our year. In the past, this may have looked like, looking at our actual 3 months of data and then hand keying in different values month by month to give us an accurate starting point for a forecast. With Prophix FP&A Plus, we're able to use a variety of different predictive forecast methods and then choose between the one that fits our forecast best. So I'm going to go ahead and open up our Prophix Copilot here in the top right-hand corner of the screen. And this will allow me to talk to our various agents in the tool to help me run tasks in Prophix. So what I'm doing is I'm pasting in a prompt and I'm asking the Prophix Task Assistant to run the best fit forecast. So I like the way that this data looks, and I'd now like to incorporate that into my 9 months of forecast. Once that process runs, it will populate and automatically allocate based on my actual inputs, all of that data for my 9 months of forecast. So in literally 10 seconds, I was able to get not only a fast forecast, but actually a fairly accurate forecast because we're using Prophix's predictive forecasting tools in conjunction with our AI task assistants to allow our end users to focus more on the granular adjustments to the forecast versus coming up with that baseline forecast, which, as we know, takes quite a bit of time. Now, with all of these reports and dashboards and all the areas that I've shown you in Prophix so far, the one underlying factor that makes it really useful for your finance team is not just the AI, but also the role-based security that's built in. So we're able to limit users or groups of users to only seeing the specific departments, the specific accounts, and the specific points of data that they should have access to in Prophix, ensuring not only they're seeing relevant data and they're not seeing a bunch of data that's not relevant for their role, but also limiting them from seeing potentially sensitive information like payroll data. So that security is really at front of mind with Prophix. And so that is all managed centrally in the tool and then automatically applied to all areas of Prophix. In a practical sense, this means that you and your teams may only need to build out one template that can be applied for every user. And then Prophix security will handle the rest and ensure that the data that they're seeing is only relevant for them. Now, jumping back over to the dashboards, once you've created, a budget, you've created some reports like an income statement and a balance sheet, the platform will really help you create a final board reporting package and get that sent out to the end users. And so we can see here this example of that monthly financial reporting package. Now, as I download that to my computer and open that up, we're going to see how that output is actually going to look when it gets sent out to end users' emails. So we've set this up so that this will automatically send out to end users at the end of every month, and it will contain that month's financial information and any other reports that you include. So we've included the integrated financial statements, a balance sheet, a cash flow statement, and an income statement. We've got the monthly variance income statement, including any budget adjustments we've made, including comments from our analysts, but also including things like Prophix Copilot AI analysis, which helps us get insights into our data with the click of one button. As we scroll down, we'll notice that this is all data that we saw in Prophix mapping directly to these reports, and these reports automatically filter from a security basis depending on who's receiving them. So from the model to the dashboard and the security, holding it all together, this is really what you're going to get from FP&A Plus. There is going to be quite a bit of work that you're going to do with the model buildup, with the design of the templates and the reports, but the hope would be at the end package is going to look like a beautiful package just like this. So putting those four pieces together, your team can go from closing the books on last quarter to actually steering what's happening next quarter. Your board meetings will stop being, here's what happened, and start to include, here's what's going to happen next. And here's our confidence in that, driven by not just your updated reports, but also Prophix AI. Andrew, I think I can hand that off to you now for your section.
Thank you so much, Audrey, Parker, for your explanation. Thanks. Pessoal, antes da gente ir para uma parte de perguntas, né? Pegar as perguntas que vocês passaram ali para a gente, e a gente vai passar para o pessoal ali responder para a gente queria deixar dois links, dois QR Codes para vocês aqui na tela, tá? O primeiro QR Code é para clientes Prophix, certo? Então, se você é cliente Prophix Plano, se você é cliente do Prophix Classic, o antigo Prophix, né? E você viu a solução e você quer migrar para uma ferramenta mais robusta, se você quer melhorar o teu processo de planejamento orçamentário, se você quer crescer na questão das análises com ferramentas mais flexíveis, mais robustas, com o uso da IA, a gente tem uma promoção, né? A gente tem um subsídio para vocês ali, a gente tem uma condição especial de negociação para vocês, tá? Essa condição vai até o dia 10 de agosto, então vocês estão vendo ali. Nós temos ali ou 50% de subsídio no valor do setup, ou o projeto diluído em até 36 meses. Então, se você já é nosso cliente plano ou o FP&A Classic e quer migrar para o FP&A Plus e ver tudo isso que o Parker e o Aubrey mostraram para a gente, escaneie o QR Code, né, entre em contato com o nosso time que a gente vai estar dando todo o suporte para vocês. E o outro QR Code é para você que ainda não é o nosso cliente. Se você ainda não é cliente Prophix, mas você olhou, você quer conhecer mais, você quer saber como funciona, você quer ver como colocar o seu processo orçamentário, seja ele em planilha ou em outra ferramenta dentro do Prophix e usar toda a capacidade, toda a performance que o FP&A Plus proporciona para vocês. A gente também tem uma condição especial para vocês, tá? Entre em contato, escaneie o QR Code, entre em contato com a gente. Vocês vão ter ali um subsídio de 15% no licenciamento anual ou 20% de subsídio no setup. Entre em contato com a gente, vamos conversar, entre em contato com o nosso time de especialistas e a gente vai estar dando todo o suporte para vocês, tá bom? E agora eu quero passar para o Dariva, né, para o Roberto Dariva. Ele tem ali, o pessoal separou algumas perguntas para fazerem ali para o nosso time, para os nossos convidados. Dariva, é contigo, pode seguir.
Obrigado, Leandro. Eu vou fazer as perguntas em inglês, que já tem a tradução aqui automática para a legenda, para facilitar. So, Aubrey and Parker, first question. Is it possible to grant access to some department like marketing or another one, so they can view only their own data, one scenario, one budget versus actual data instead of see the whole data from the whole company?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I was referring to in my presentation with role-based security. So you can set up, a specific user to only see data from their specific department. So when they open up a report or they open up Prophix, every area of Prophix will only be showing them, let's say, data from the marketing department, for example. Now that logic also doesn't just apply for departments, it applies for every dimension. And so if you want to only show them specific accounts or specific versions, you can restrict that access as well.
Yeah, that's great.
Prophix is really the great thing about Prophix is that we want to basically make the budgeting, planning, forecasting, scenario modeling processes collaborative. And so it's not just about finance being the only ones in Prophix. It's about the business being in Prophix, because with the power and capabilities of Prophix, we're allowing everyone who uses it to get out of just finance-focused budgeting, forecasting, modeling to, again, the operational level planning of Prophix. So anyone can be in it.
Yeah, that's great. So just follow with a question I have been hearing from the clients here in Brazil. It's possible as well. First thing in the project, we structure the data, and the data, data structures could be different from client to client. But once it is done, we can give access to the employees for other departments to fill it up with the data. But also, the system can generate a spreadsheet, and they can fill it up the spreadsheet and then upload to the system. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah. If you want to load data through a flat file into the system, you can absolutely do that.
That's great. Okay. Second question from Mariana's. If a department requests the status of its budget for a specific period of time, for example, the budget versus actual figures for the first 4 months in the year, from the first month of the year, can AI help prepare this information for FP&A team to send to the department in question?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we've got a really useful reporting agent in the tool where you can ask it almost exactly that prompt. You can say, I want to see the budget versus actual data for the first 4 months of 2026, and it will build that view out for you, which you can then bring to ad hoc analysis, which is our free-form data analysis tool, or you can bring that and build a report based off that. And so that is where AI can really help you create those views quite quickly.
That's great. So most of the time, the FP&A team, when they are working using Excel spreadsheet, they spend hours and hours preparing those reports, send to the other teams, and do analysis from what they get back. So the autonomous agents can do this for FP&A team. That's great. Okay, another question from Katia. Does Prophix allow the creation of management P&L where ledger adjustments are made and allocation criteria are applied by channel or SKU, or even reconcile statutory views in satellite systems like Salesforce or ADP to create this management P&L?
Yes, absolutely. So there's a few pieces in that question I want to address. In terms of like a managerial P&L structure, the report building tool in Prophix is very flexible. So you can create many different report structure views, one for managerial, maybe one for executive. So you can have those different views. And then we have dedicated tools in the system to allow you to make ledger adjustments, to allow you to do allocations across different channels, different SKUs. So those are all configurable within the tool. Basically, you can see all of your data by channel and by SKU and do those allocations across. And then when it comes to, those satellite systems like Salesforce, ADP, GKO, Prophix natively supports integrations to all of those platforms. So you can utilize the data coming from those platforms to help inform the managerial P&Ls that you're creating.
That's great. So the other one I will address to Leandro em português. Leandro, qual a diferença entre o Prophix One, o FP&A Plus, e o Prophix Plano?
Maravilha. Então vamos lá. Qual que é a principal diferença entre as duas ferramentas, né? Então quando a gente fala de entregas, as duas vão entregar a DRE, o resultado do orçamento. Mas a gente tem uma diferença bem clara em nível de detalhamento delas. Enquanto o Prophix Plano, ele tem um nível de detalhamento menor. Então, ele chega num nível de conta, empresa, centro de custo, mas a nossa DRE é limitada a isso, alguns itens assim. O Prophix One, o FP&A Plus, nós temos um nível de detalhamento muito maior. Então, o que o Parker comentou ali sobre uma análise por SKU, sobre análise por canais, sobre análise por região, a gente vai ter isso numa DRE. A gente vai ter isso numa DRE dentro do FP&A Plus. Então, basicamente, de forma bem resumida, quando a gente fala de estruturas das ferramentas, a gente tem uma ferramenta que ela entrega o resultado, mas ela entrega até um nível de detalhe. E aí chega um momento que a empresa ela precisa ter um nível de detalhamento muito maior. E aí que entra o FP&A Plus, suprindo toda essa cadeia, essa estrutura do cliente.
Legal, Leandro. Especificamente para algumas verticais como agronegócio, que precisa de muitas dimensões, no FP&A Plus pode-se ter dimensões ilimitadas. Ele vai desde o plantio, da semente, até a colheita. Então, precisa ter muitas dimensões, e isso é um dos destaques do FP&A Plus. There's another question, I know the answer, and I think we already answered in the chat, but it's about the prompts for AI. Could be in any language, specifically English or Portuguese, no matter what language they will address, right?
So absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So thank you so much, Aubrey and Parker. It was our first bilingual webinar here, and I think it's going to be the first of the many. And it was so great to answer the questions for our clients and prospects. Thank you so much for the presentation, and I'm excited to get the second one. So thank you so much, gentlemen.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for having us.
Okay, see you in the next one. Obrigado, pessoal, pela participação também, a todos. E se continuarem com algumas dúvidas, podem entrar em contato conosco que nós endereçaremos. Obrigado pela participação, Leandro. De volta para você.
Obrigado, Dariva. Obrigado, pessoal que nos acompanhou. Aubrey Parker, again, thank you for your time, thank you for your explanation, thank you for presentation, Prophix One. E, pessoal, eu queria reforçar aqui com vocês as nossas condições, os nossos convites. Então, a gente vai colocar na tela aqui de novo o QR Code para você que já é cliente da Prophix, seja plano, seja FP&A Classic, e tem a intenção, deseje migrar para o FP&A Plus, né? Pegando um gancho ali só para vocês entenderem, até no que o Roberto comentou. Então, o nível de detalhamento, de dimensões, de possibilidades aumenta, né, exponencialmente. Então, se você tem desejo de conhecer a ferramenta, quer melhorar o teu processo orçamentário, quer crescer no processo orçamentário, no acompanhamento, nas análises, então fica aqui o convite para você, escaneie o QR Code, venha falar com a gente, né, para que você possa conhecer com mais detalhes as ferramentas. E para você que não é cliente Prophix e que está assistindo o nosso webinar e tem interesse em conhecer mais a ferramenta, tem interesse em ser um cliente Prophix e entender como a Prophix como um todo, ela pode auxiliar você no dia a dia, nas análises, nas tomadas de decisão. Então, escaneie o QR Code também, venha falar com a gente, venha falar com os nossos especialistas, a gente tem condições especiais para vocês e eu tenho certeza que vocês vão gostar muito da ferramenta, vão se encantar, e é isso. Queria agradecer a todo mundo que participou do webinar, obrigado, Dariva, pela tua participação, né, por intermediar esse webinar aí com o pessoal para a gente. Queria agradecer vocês e a gente se vê no próximo webinar aí, tá bom? Obrigado, pessoal.